Most runners think about core training, they think about doing crunches, sit-ups, and also how long you can hold a plank for. And if you're just training like that, you're holding your performance back quite a bit and leaving a lot on the table. So your core training is not just about your abs, it's responsible for your stability, transfer of force, and also your posture and your performance. So in this video, I'm going to show you 8 crucial movement patterns so you can improve your performance and reduce the risk of injury. So let's get into it. So the first up is going to be rotation. So running is naturally a rotational sort of movement. So every time we take a stride, we're going to be rotating the upper body. And if we haven't got the strength and the power in the upper body for rotation, we're just going to leak energy and become less efficient when it comes to running. So the one that I like to do is horizontal rotations. You can do diagonal ones if you want to just mix things up a little bit. So here you're just going to take a band or be on the cable machine. We're just going to step out so you've got some resistance here. And then we're just going to be roughly about hip width apart with the feet. And then nice and tall from the crown of the head, shoulders down. And then just making sure the handle's in the middle of the chest. And we're just going to come out to here. And then from here, we're just going to rotate from that spine, belly button and engaging the core and allowing the power to come all the way from the core. So here you can see that the handles stand in the middle of the chest. So we're not just moving the arms across the body, we're actually getting that full rotation from the upper body and from the trunk. So that's going to help you become more of an efficient runner when it comes to that rotational strength. So once you've got that power there, you can transfer that into the legs and get more efficient when it comes to running. So it's one thing to create movement, but it's always good to resist movement as well. So when I talk about resisting movement, I mean that anti-rotational movement. So we're nice and strong through the trunk and we're nice and strong through the pelvis as well. So they're both facing forward and they're nice and strong. So if you get too much rotation, you're just losing energy and you're just slowing yourself down. So the Pallof exercise is a nice exercise that I find helps quite a lot for this kind of movement or non-movement. So again, you're going to need a resistance band or a cable machine. And again, we're just going to get some nice bit of resistance to start off with. And again, we're just going to be roughly about hip width apart with the feet, slight bend in the knees, nice and tall from the crown of the head. Pull that belly button in, engage through that core. Shoulders are going to be down. And then from here, the handle's going to be in the middle of the chest. And then we're just going to take it out. Again, slight bend in the elbows and then just bringing it back in nice and controlled and then taking it back out. So here we're standing in the middle of the chest as the arm comes out. The weight's going to try and, or the band's going to try and force you this way. So we've got that nice bit of resistance and then we're just fighting it. So we can get that nice bit of anti-rotational movement, keeping nice and fixed and strong through the core. And this is brilliant for keeping the pelvis nice and strong and stable and making you a more efficient runner as you move forward. So next up is going to be flexion. So this is going to add strength at the front of the trunk. So this is going to help with that pelvis stability and trunk stability as well and keep the lower back from taking the load. So we're still nice and strong through that core. So we're not sort of bending into the back, so to speak. So we're going to come onto our mat with this one. Again, the feet are going to be roughly about hip width apart. And then from here, shoulders are going to be down nice and relaxed. We're going to pull the belly button in and engage the core. So we're just going to stabilize through the pelvis first. And then we're just going to interlock the fingers behind the back and then just rest the head into the hands. So we're not actually pulling on the neck or onto the head. And we're allowing the weight of the head to just rest into the hands. Elbows in that peripheral vision. We're just going to take a nice inhale from here. As we exhale, pull that belly button in, lift the head up, lift the chest up. Take an inhale at the top and then exhale, come down nice and slowly, nice and controlled. Again, take a nice inhale at the bottom, still keeping the ribs engaged. Everything's nice and engaged here. The ribs are not flaring up towards the ceiling. And then on the exhale, coming back up, nice and strong, belly button in, pelvis nice and stable. Take that nice in-breath. And then on the exhale, come back down, nice and controlled. Good, so with this one, do roughly about 2 to 3 sets and roughly about 8 to 12 repetitions or whatever works for you. And again, keep that nice, slow and controlled movement so you really get into the core and think about the stability and the control through the hips at the same time. So it's good to create movement, but it's good to resist movement as well. So this one's going to be that anti-extension, so to speak. So this is going to help you sort of that excess arching through the lower back when we're running. So it takes the pressure off the lower back and it takes the pressure off the hamstrings, the hip flexors as well at the same time. So we're going to go into the dead bug for this one. So we're going to come onto our back. We're going to engage the core to start off with. Make sure everything's nice and fixed through here. Pelvis nice and stable. And then we're just going to bring one leg up to tabletop, so that knee's just above the hips. And then we're just going to bring the other leg up to tabletop. And again, so both knees now are just above the hips. 90-degree bend in the knee joint, and then just bring the hands out in front of the body. And then from here, opposite arm and opposite leg coming away from the center, and then coming back up, and then switching sides. So again, keeping the core engaged, keeping the rib cage down, and keeping everything nice and strong. So you feel that your back's not coming away from the mat as your arms come up, so we're not extending through. Keep this nice and engaged through here, and then coming back up. And that's going to help build that kind of stability through the pelvis and through your core as well, or through your trunk, so we can run a lot more efficiently and a lot more stronger as well. So next up is lateral anti-flexion. So this is our ability not to collapse down into one side when we're running. So we start to lose energy, the hips start to go out of place. I find that most runners and most people struggle or are not that strong when it comes to side or that lateral strength. So it's really good to add in for runners, and it'll help propel us forward as well. So from here, we're just going to come onto the mat. This is quite a simple one. We're going to come into the side plank. So we're going to come onto the elbow here. Make sure that the ankle, knees, hips and shoulder are in alignment or nice and straight through here. We're going to pull the belly button and engage the core, and then we're just going to bring the hips up towards the ceiling, and then we're just going to hold it here. And again, if this does get too much, or if this is too much too soon for you, you can just bend that bottom leg so the knee's still in the same place, and then we can just come up from here and we can just hold it there nice and strong. And again, do 2 to 3 sets of this, and roughly about 30 seconds to 60 seconds, and see if that works for you. If you do start to lose form, then stop doing the exercise, come into the other side, and then just come back into it, and then just build that time up in this movement or non-movement, and then you should be nice and strong when it comes to that lateral strength. So next one is extension. So this is one that most runners miss out, and it's really important when it comes to running. So working on our back extensors and our posterior chain is very important when it comes to running, and especially when it comes to breathing mechanics and kind of stopping you from slouching forward as well. So one, it shortens your breath, and two, it also affects your running ability as well. Slows you down and you start to get heavier on the leg. So working on this extension is going to help with, one, your posture, trunk control, and also your breathing as well. So with this one, we're going to come onto the mat. So again, onto your stomach from here, hands down by the side, engaging the core, pull the belly button in. So we don't want to come into the lower back too much. We want to work through that thoracic area, sort of mid back. The head's just going to be slightly off the ground here. So everything's engaged. Shoulders are going to be down, scapula back slightly. And then from here, we're just going to take an inhale, come up. Exhale, take it down nice and slowly. Don't allow the forehead to touch the ground. And then again, inhale, coming back up. And exhale, coming down. So again, move with your breath. So that just slows that movement down a little bit. So it's really precise movement, nice and controlled. And that's going to get you strong through the back. So you start running more upright, more efficiently, and you can see what's in front of you a bit better. So the next one up is going to be anti-flexion. So this one's going to be really good to stabilize again through the pelvis and through the trunk as well, and just making sure that we're more upright when we're running and we can breathe more efficiently. So this is going to be the plank. Now there is a few modifications so that you are doing it properly, and if you are losing connection with the core, just how to kind of focus, bring that focus back into the core so you're doing it right, correctly, and getting the the benefits that you need out of this really. So from here, we're just going to come onto our elbows. And then to start off with, we're just going to come off the knees. So we're just going to push through the elbows, engage the core, pull the belly button in, and we're just going to hold it here. And if that's good enough for you, then that's fine. And if you want to take it to the next level, you can tuck the toes under and then just bring the knees off of the mat, hold it here, nice and strong. And again, if that gets too much, take the knees down and then pull the belly button in, engage the core, keep the rib cage intact. So it feels like the rib cage is coming towards the hips. And then again, a little tip for this one, if you do feel that you're losing control of the core, feel that you're bringing the elbows down towards the feet or towards the toes and the toes up towards the elbows. So you're kind of getting the effect that you're dragging the elbows down and you're dragging the feet up, and you can hold it there. And that'll help you connect with that core a little bit more. Again, if you feel that your lower back's starting to go, come down to the knees, pull the belly button in, keep the rib cage up, keep it nice and strong. And then again, do 2 to 3 sets of these and just build that time up that you can do the plank from 30 seconds and then bring it up to 60 seconds into a full plank position. And that should give you enough strength so you don't fatigue when you run in, and you're nice and strong, and obviously you can run more efficiently as well. So next up is that side lateral flexion. So again, this is another one where we kind of lack that little bit of strength. So when we normally train, we normally think about going forwards or backwards, and we kind of neglect that side to side. So this one's good to add strength through the side movement and stop us sort of collapsing into one side as well. So we're more upright and more efficient when we're going forward and running. So you're going to use a kettlebell or a dumbbell for this one. And again, get a weight that suits you, that you can do it with good control, good posture, and also that's going to challenge you for the last 2 repetitions with this weight, okay? So again, we're going to stand roughly about hip width apart, nice and tall from the crown of the head, shoulders back and down to start off with, belly button in, keeping that weight nice and close towards the body. We're just going to bend down to one side. So we're just going to come down roughly to where the knee is. And then from here, you want to use this side here to draw yourself back up nice and strong. Good. Nice and centered again. And then again, take it back down nice and slowly, nice and controlled. And then again, using this side body to draw yourself back up to that nice standing position. And then again, obviously do the other side. So I like to do 2 to 3 sets of these and do roughly about 8 to 12 repetitions each side. And that should get you nice and strong through that side lateral body. So there's no need to overthink it. Add these movement patterns into your weekly schedule, and over time you're going to become stronger and more efficient at running. So if you're looking for videos to follow along to that's already done for you, there will be some added shortly. So hit that subscribe button and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.